Good morning everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. It is Sunday morning, and normally I do a Sunday squirrel type video on a Sunday. I'm actually up early enough that I'm hoping to get this out this morning. It might be a bit later than my normal release time, but I still think I'll get this out this morning because these videos don't take a whole lot of editing. I wanted to check in. So I've had a few questions with the more regular videos, a few questions across the board of those. So I did get asked if I could do like a list of what the things that I'm looking to do over the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks. And I do have a list. I have it in my notebook, but it's going to be a little bit variable because I think it depends on the weather on each day as to what I can do sometimes. And it just depends on life in general as well. So in regards to baking and other treats and stuff, we're definitely going to do some Oreo style truffles, which is which has been shared, which is the cream cheese Oreo style truffle type things. And I actually think I'm going to try and make a cashew cream cheese for those. Like I'm going to make them into more of a nut truffle rather than a cream cheese one. We'll keep those ones moderately dairy free. There will be some chocolate coating, but moderately dairy free, just because we can, because it's a nice sort of a simple swap over. I think that will work. So I have those on my list. I have a choc mint cheesecake using the choc mint Oreos, which the kids are really looking forward to. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that with cream cheese to give them a go of that. Because we've only ever made the raw cashew cheesecakes before for them to have, so that will be something for them to eat. And then because we're doing cheesecake, Darryl's all-time favorite cheesecake is a keto cheesecake that I make, a New York baked one. And it's done with sour cream and cream cheese, and it's vanilla, and it's really simple, but he really likes it. So we're going to make those as well. So we'll make those two cheesecakes. The choc mint one, I believe, is a no-bake one. It's just a cold one, just a, what are they called, Philadelphia cheesecake style. And then the New York one is a baked one. So we'll make both of those probably on the same day. So I've got those lined up. Now, I also have the chocolate jelly pudding type things. So they're chocolate jelly set in molds, made with gelatin and melted chocolate and stuff, and they're little round molds, and then you put a little bit of white chocolate and some leaves and mini M&Ms on them, and they're like little chocolate jelly puddings. I thought that sounded really cool, and I thought the kids would really enjoy that. We always make some jelly from scratch for the trifle. I normally make it with cranberry juice. Really enjoy that cranberry juice jelly in trifle, generally speaking. Sometimes we make the sponges from scratch, sometimes we don't. I have new pans this year, and I did think about making flat sponges rather than round ones with my oven, and that might work. So we'll see how we go with that. I have some shortbreads that I want to make. There's a salted butter and chocolate chunk one, which sounds really nice, and there's a Christmas one on cookie dough, which is the pistachio cranberry one, which sounds really nice as well. So we'll have a look at doing some shortbread. I will make a Rocky Road, though I will bought marshmallows for the Rocky Road this year. Last year, one of the biggest fails I had was Rocky Road, and part of that was because I did homemade marshmallows, and they just didn't stand up to having hot chocolate poured over them, and everything melted, and it still tasted fine, but it didn't quite work. But we will do Rocky Road this year. There is a pistachio mousse cake, which sounds absolutely amazing, so I thought I would make that. And I also bought the pastry that's needed to make Dubai chocolates and things like that. So I bought a couple of rounds of that from an online store. Bass Foods is where I got it from. So I'm going to try making some Dubai style chocolate. I have some molds that I can do that, but also just think about some other things that pastry could be used for as well. In different, I found some truffles and all sorts of things. So we'll have a look at that, and that's sort of, on the list. We will do our standard Ninja Creamies. We will do our Christmas flavors. We'll do a sort of a gingerbread flavor. We normally do a basil flavor in summer. Now, my garden is not going real well because we just haven't had the opportunity to get the garden structure going, and it's hot, and I haven't got irrigation going, and it might be a bit of a write-off again this year, unfortunately. But I might buy a bunch of basil when I do the shopping just to make our basil ice cream, because everyone loves the basil ice cream, and it's an amazing color, and I'll have to show it to you again because it was so good. But we might do some like gingerbread flavored ice cream and things like that too. I did want to make those soft ginger cookies and make the lemon curd ice cream again, because the idea of sandwich cookie ice cream cookies with the lemon curd ice cream sounded really good with the gingerbread, the soft ginger cookies. So we'll see how we go. And then there's some other sort of bits and pieces that we will see if we get to. I wanted to try making some cardamom buns because I have been watching Cecilia Talone on YouTube, sorry, and she's is American but lives in Sweden and been making some Swedish stuff that sounds really nice. So I was going to try and make some of those. I bought some extra cardamom to be able to do that, but we'll see how we go. I also wanted to try some white chocolate raspberry buns as well because that's one of my favorite flavors. So I wanted to give that a go. We will do biscotti. Though I have done one batch that didn't quite work, and I'm going to rejig that one, and I'll probably do a couple more just because I really enjoy biscotti. I generally make it only at Christmas. I don't know why, but I do. But we will do biscotti, and then there will be some standard savory stuff. So we will have the normal. We get prawns at Christmas. So one of the things that I do every Christmas is I buy a couple of boxes of frozen green prawns, and they go in the freezer, and we use them from when I shop over to New Year's sort of time span. And we make lots of different things with them. A lot of times we just boil them up and have them with seafood sauce that we make, or we have them with pasta, have them like a garlic butter prawn seafood pasta. But they're always really nice in things like gyozas and rice paper rolls and all that sort of stuff. So we might do some bulk gyozas up with some prawns, because prawn and pork or prawn and chicken in those gyozas is always amazing. So there'll be some cooking with prawns and things like that. There will be our standard. I normally make potato salad and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll film all of that, but we'll see how we go. The other thing that we used to make was a little bite-sized treat, which was chicken brie and cranberry in little puff pastry pieces, and it's something that we only make at Christmas because it was just a fiddly little thing. But I actually saw someone had turned it into like sausage rolls, chicken brie and cranberry in sausage rolls, like how I make my normal sausage rolls. And I thought maybe I might give that a go this year into the sausage roll factor, because it might be a little less fiddly and you'd get a bit more insides with your pastry. You know, those little bites have only tiny little bits of the chicken and the brie and stuff in it, whereas if it's in pastry like a sausage roll, you might get more out of it. And I thought that sounded pretty cool. Did I have anything else on there that I've just missed? Talking too much. I don't know. Anything else would be standard, sort of gingerbread potentially, sugar cookies potentially for the kids to decorate, any sort of standard foods. We always do a trifle of some sort, so we will see what sort of a trifle we end up doing this year. Mum bought me the slushy machine, and it's at her place, so I'll pick it up this grocery trip, so I'll have that to have a play with as well, to do some different things in. The kids want some chocolate pudding pops instead of just the standard smoothie pops, so we'll do those. And what I film, and what I don't. We will just see how we go. It is hard. It was 37 degrees again yesterday, but it got down to 15 degrees overnight. Like, the weather is driving us nuts. I'm still having to pull some sort of a lightweight blanket on at night. But during the day, it's horrible. The laser cutter overheats regularly. It's not been great. So we've been struggling with the heat there, and health-wise, it doesn't help to have that kind of heat. So we've been pushing that a little bit, but pushing myself a little bit, and sometimes that's pros and cons. So we will see how we go with videos. Now, in regards to getting the videos out, as the shorter videos out more often, I got some questions about how it works for me as well. So the idea was less time editing. So if I'm doing shorter videos, like if I'm doing 15, 20, 25-minute videos, the editing required on those is less because at a time, it means that it's broken up. Whereas if I'm doing an hour-long video, it could take me 2 to 3 hours to get it edited, because I have to listen to every single part, snip out anything where I've walked away from the camera to wash hands or whatever and haven't had, like, my hands have been dirty, so I haven't turned the camera off, and snipping out some of the, like, you know, I might say 800 grams of flour, start pouring it. Well, you don't need to watch me pour the whole 800 grams of flour and things like that. So otherwise they just end up far too long. So there is a fair bit of editing and then uploading and then creating all the thumbnails and everything else that's involved in each video. And when they're long, it becomes more extensive. So the shorter videos meant that, yes, I'm editing potentially every night or every second night to get a couple done, but each video takes a lot less time. So you're not stuck to that one video editing all for that span of time. So that was the concept of it. In regards to income and stuff from them, they get less views. The short videos get less views than my longer ones. I think it's just because it's a single subject, so someone might look at the subject and just go, well, I'm not real interested in that. Whereas if you're watching one of my longer videos, there's 5 or 6 different things in the video, so people will watch that because there's something within those 5 or 6 things that interests them. But having the single subject videos is beneficial in the long run for when directing people to a specific thing or finding a specific thing. So the theory is that it'll be beneficial in the long run to have some of these shorter videos as well, that are referenceable, rather than having the hour-long videos that have the so many different subject matters in them and you can't find something specific. It also allows me to generally, most of the time, try and put a recipe in the description when it's just a single sort of a subject video. It may not be a particularly in-depth recipe, but it'll be at least the ingredients, and then theoretically, once I have time after Christmas, I can start getting stuff up on the website. And then when the stuff's up on the website, it can direct back to that video that has the single subject. So there's a couple of purposes to doing it. I do get less views on the short videos. I always have, which is why I tend to not do the single subject videos. But if I'm getting enough of them out, then it will compensate for that, and the income that YouTube brings in will be the same. It'll just be it'll be shorter videos with less views, but it will all equate to about the same. That's the theory anyway. So we're giving it a go and we'll see how it works. Let me know what you think, but that's sort of the way I was looking at it, was that there was some pros and cons to it, and we were going to give it a go for Christmas and see how it works, and you know, we'll see. I generally do try and do Vlogmas anyway, so this is just another sort of a version of it. There was a couple of other things too in regards to video topics. So the kids need we got all the dyes, so we can do the kids in some fancy hair colours, so we thought we'd share that. And I bought a bunch of more white clothing, which I do most Christmases, to tie-dye, so we'll probably show you that as well. The kids all need some new shirts, so I just bought a bunch of cheap $2-3 white shirts from Kmart, Big W, wherever it was, and we're going to tie-dye them. I actually might grab another. I only got, I think, one for each child, because I bought a bunch of other shirts at the same time and thought we were all good, but we have since gone through all their wardrobe, all their summer and winter wardrobes, packed everything away, and all the kids could do with a few more t-shirts. The weather has been fickle lately, and with the amount of rain that we've been getting, the kids have run out a little bit on t-shirts and stuff, because they have enough if we can wash every day or two, but because of the fact that, and I like to keep it minimal like that, because we don't have the storage for excessive amounts of clothing. And so we do keep it minimal, because they have a couple of sets of drawers and a large 3-bay wardrobe that they share. Sonnet has her own space, but all 4 boys share that. And so we like to keep it minimal, but it also has to be minimal to a point where there's enough for them to always have clean clothing. And we're running short on shirts lately, so with the weather. I'm going to do a couple loads of washing today and we will catch back up again, but then there is rain forecast later on at the end of the week, I think, again for a couple of days. So it just depends on the ebb and flow of the weather and the washing. So I think that in winter it's not too bad. We can dry stuff in front of the fire. In summer, whilst we have the patio, things still don't dry very well because the air is too damp. So we will, I will buy maybe a couple more of the white shirts per child, and we'll do a big tie-dye day, get it all done at once. I do scrunch tie-dyeing. It's fairly low effort to do, and I'll just make sure we got plenty of water when we're doing it and stuff. So yeah, so we'll do that as well. And there's some other Christmas crafts and stuff too that we'll probably share, but we'll see how we go. We'll just play it by ear. Now, Darryl did go to Toowoomba this week for medical appointments, and I got him to do a click and collect at Coles and Woolworths for me for some of the stuff that I need for some of the baking. Now, some of this stuff I might not get to until after I come back from the shop anyway, and I probably could have bought this stuff when I went shopping, but I took advantage of some flybys and things like that, and the fact that he was there, and got him to do some click and collect orders. I can't remember how much it is. I'll put how much it was. I'll put it up on the thing, but I'll add it into the next shopping trip anyway. But so I got him to grab junk, basically junk. Not a lot of food, but all the junk stuff that is going to be shoved into drawers and cupboards to be used for any sort of baking and for Christmas the Christmas period and stuff too. So there was a bunch of half price stuff and all that sort of thing. So I thought I'd grab it all at once. It saves me getting it while I'm at the grocery shop. So there's less bulk when I do that. And it just worked out well. So I recorded that for you. So I'll put that clip in here of all that food. So this is that. Quick, decadent and lack of food trip that I got Darryl to grab while he was in Toowoomba. A few things for the baking, especially considering I'm not shopping until, I won't be back until the 12th or 13th, and we're starting the baking at the beginning of the month. I needed a few extra bits and pieces. So I grabbed some marshmallows for the Rocky Road, but they also had these Christmas style ones that I thought the kids might enjoy as well in a Coles brand. I grabbed a couple of different types of jelly lollies. So this was a Christmas pack. I haven't seen these ones before. These ones are just a fun Christmas one, but I grabbed all these natural confectionery ones were half price. So I grabbed a bunch of those. We'll use what we use, the rest will be put away for Christmas Day or whatever as treats. I did grab some popping candy like toppings for some cupcakes or something, just as something special. I grabbed some sugar-free maple syrup. Someone asked me if the sugar-free maple would work for the marshmallows, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a go because that way Darryl could have them as well. So I'm going to give that a go. I'm guessing Darryl picked me up some utensils just because he saw them. I think there's some measuring cups or something too that he grabbed. Yeah, some measuring cups as well that he must have seen while he was in there, and so we grabbed a couple more of the mini springform tins to make it's actually the New York cheesecake for Darryl that he really likes, so we grabbed a few of those as well. I grabbed just some small packs of sesame seeds. The Toowoomba, Coles and Woolworths don't sell the 1 kilo packs. I will get a 1 kilo pack when I do the groceries, but this will do me until then. And a tiny bag of pistachios. Again, there's just something specific that I want to make that has these on top. It's not necessary, but I just grabbed a tiny little bag just so that I could do that. I did grab myself a gingerbread smash Milky Bar because it's something I've never heard of before and it's a treat. And there was a couple of packets of dishwashing gloves. Some pure icing sugar and some icing mixture for various different baking things. Pure icing sugar is literally just sugar powdered up, so it goes really rock hard. Mixture normally has a starch of some sort in it, which helps to keep it soft and is good for certain cooking. This one has tapioca in it, this particular brand. A couple of choc ripple biscuits. These are for Sonnet. She has a few activities through school next week where they're making like choc ripple cake and things like that in class, so we grabbed some of those. A bunch of different chocolates. These were I think these were $1 something off, these were half price or $2 off or something, and these were $1 something off or 2 for $5 or whatever it was. They were all on special, so I grabbed those. They can all go in the freezer for using for the baking. I grabbed a couple of packs of ham just because I grabbed some Turkish bread because I felt like Turkish bread. So I grabbed a couple of packs of ham. This will just be lunch tomorrow probably. Some tomatoes that I paid far too much for, and some cucumbers, again, that I paid far too much for, but this is just a lunch. I also grabbed a bunch of the salad mixes because it's hot and food is hard at the moment, and these are 2 for $9. And we really enjoy salad, and we just don't get it very often because of the way we shop. So I grabbed a bunch of those to eat. Some sour cream. This is to make the New York cheesecake for Darryl, as well as some more cream cheese. I do have some in the fridge, but I grabbed some more. I also grabbed some of the insect spray because we have used all of what I bought, and so we need some refills. And then soft drink was really cheap, and it saves me grabbing it when I'm down there, though I probably will grab a bit more. We'll see how we go. But the no sugar Coke that Darryl really enjoys, I got a lemonade, an orange, and a pasito for the kids, or me as well. And I actually bought the wrong vanilla Coke. The reason I bought it in this 10 pack is because they have vanilla Coke no sugar in these 10 packs, and for some reason I have clicked the wrong one. So, oh well, it's just going to be a whole lot of calories that I'm going to drink that I shouldn't be, but that is, Christmas as well. So yeah, a bunch of expensive non-food stuff. I don't remember how much it was. I'll put it in a note here when I do it. But this is all to do with, that month-long baking and cooking and all the stuff that we don't buy the rest of the year. We missed a bag. I grabbed some of the double stuffed mint Oreos. These were half price. I grabbed these ones because I'm going to make the kids a chocolate mint cheesecake type thing. And I'm hoping to do that before I go shopping. But I also grabbed the marshmallow ones in case I want to use them for something because these aren't always available and we really like them. And these Christmas sprinkles just because they were there, and I grabbed myself 2 of my favourite chips because they were half price as well.
So that, as I said, shopping haul full of junk and not much food.
So as I said, it's a lot of just junk, a lot of lollies and soft drinks and like, what was it? A whole bunch of chocolates to use for different things. I wanted to have an excess so that I had it to be, so this list that I've got, I can pick and choose what I wanted to make off it, depending on the weather of the day and things like that. So we got all that. Darryl collected all of that, and I will take that into account when I do my next grocery shop, which is in a week and a half. I will leave for the next grocery shop. So yes, we will do that. But at least we have all these supplies, and instead of having to buy them locally, like, you know, sometimes you run out of icing sugar or something and I get them to get it locally, and if they've got Black and Gold brand, it's not too bad a price, but it's still cheaper to buy things on sale at Coles and Woolworths than it is to buy it locally. So that just worked out well. Now, I actually had a job interview last week for working a couple of days a week at one of the local schools. So I went to that and I got that job. So I'm going to be working in the new year a couple of days a week at one of the local small schools, which will be interesting. It's Darryl thinks it'll do me good to get out of the house more than just the grocery trips, and to have something else to focus on. So we are going to give that a go. It's kind of work that I do, like, that I'm good at and I enjoy. So we will see how that goes. But I went for that interview last week and I got that job. So I start that in January, late January of next year. So that will be a change to things in the new year. And we will see how it all pans out. They're short days. They're, you know, 5.5 hour days, and it's only 25 minutes away. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A little apprehensive about how the house is going to run without me here for 2 days, whether the slack is going to be picked up or if I am going to have to then work even harder when I am home. We will see how that goes. Darryl has had a change of meds recently and is not coping fantastically well with the change of meds. So we've had a week of him being a little bit not great. So hopefully that settles down soon as well. Heat, new meds, the stress of how much we're supposed to get done and are not getting done, and all the rest of it is weighing on everyone at the moment, I think, a little bit. Orders wise, for anyone who has an outstanding order, all the advent calendars went out. They were all posted, other than I've had an order for a couple that came in that she emailed me and said that she knew she wouldn't get them for this year, but that she'll have them for next year. So I haven't printed those ones yet because I've been printing the more important orders, and then I will get that out to her. But the tissue holders I'm almost caught up. There should be a lot of postage notifications go out tomorrow morning, this afternoon, when I put them all into the system, when I put them all into Australia Post. And there is a couple of orders that are outstanding still that we had a shortage on a colour. Might have been mint. The mint coloured filament, which is due to hit the post office Monday. So hopefully that will hit the post office Monday, and I will get them all printed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and get them all out. The plan is to get everything posted out by Thursday, Friday. That's it. Like that is the hopes anyway, unless something new comes in. Now, I do have an order for a family tree for Gavin. Now, Gavin, if you're watching, I have sent you a proof of the family tree to make sure that all the spelling is correct, that all the names are in the correct places and all that sort of thing. If you could check your junk mail for me. If I don't hear back from you, I'm going to have to print it as is and hope that it was all good. Hope that my proofing has been appropriate. But it would be great if you could check the proof and email me back and approve that. There's a whole bunch of stars going out as well. We were having problems with the laser cutter overheating and the temperatures, so I've had to break, instead of being able to print a whole sheet of stars, I've had to print them in strips so that the laser engraver has time to cool down. But I wasn't rushing it because the stars are, generally speaking, for December anyway, unlike like the Advent needed to go out and things like that. So the stars should all start. I've sent a bunch out, but there should be there was a couple of orders that are all stars. They should go out over the next couple of days as well. Anyway, the whole plan is to have everything posted out by the end of the week that is current now. Any orders that come in this week, potentially as well, but anything that's outstanding should go out over this week. So that is fingers crossed that everything runs appropriately. The weather is supposed to be better this week. We even have lows. I think it was one of the days forecast as a low for like a 29, which is unlikely, but you know, would be nice. So that's where the orders are at. Other than that, I think that's about it that I needed to cover. Just been plodding along, just been doing the food and trying to, you know, stay sane in the weather and get stuff done and figure out planning. And, you know, we have incubators due to hatch in 3 days. So we are cementing the bottom of a tractor that we had issues with rats getting into, bush rats, the little possumy rats that we have. We're getting into the tractor, so we're cementing the base of that tractor so that we can put the younger chicks out without them being at risk. So we've got the chicks that are in the brooder, the ones that were unwell, the 9 that survived are still inside at the moment because we wanted to make sure that they were healthy. We didn't want to put them anywhere that they could infect anyone else or anything like that. So those 9 are going to go into the tractor once the cement is set. And then that way it'll be a nice clean, we can hose that out if need be, things like that. And then we have 2 incubators that are due to hatch in the next 3 days. We have had some problems with overheating of the incubators, so we will see how we go. I have to keep a close eye on them. I have to open them up at certain points of the day if it's too hot. But most of them are olive and brown and dark eggs, and you can't actually see inside them very well to candle them. So we will just have to see how that goes. But so we've got those to hatch shortly, and then the ones that are in the brooder need to go out, and that needs to be scrubbed clean before the new ones go in there. So we've got a little bit of a juggle going on there as well. But yeah, I don't know, life in general has just been occurring and happening as per normal. And it's exciting. It's the 30th of November. It's the 1st of December tomorrow. Now, you know what? All this mucking around for everyone else's advents and everything else, the stuff that I ordered for the kids' advents hasn't turned up yet. I have a couple of things there, and I will use them for the 1st and the 2nd if I need to before the other stuff turns up. And it's in the post. It says it's on its way. Let me have a look at my tracking. It says it's in Australia, but yeah, anyway, that's life. I was so busy getting everything else done that I kept on putting my stuff off, and then, yeah, anyway. So their advent might start a little bit later. They're not going to care, but that's a bit of a bummer. So I need to sort that out, but I might show you guys. I don't know. I'll see. When I'm packing all the advents into the separate boxes and stuff, we might have a look at what it all is. It's all just junk, though, so I don't know. We'll see how we go. But, yeah, all right. I'm going to leave it there and start my day, and I don't know, have a good weekend, guys. Have a good Sunday, and I'll see you during the week.